Hi friends, we're the Chara Project, Jen, Sarah, and Heather, and we are answering questions from our Chara Project community on different how-tos of how to tackle the Bible in different ways. And one of the questions we got was understanding where to start. You're brand new to the Bible. Where do I start reading? And how do I discover the Bible, especially if there's so many different books. 66 books can feel a little overwhelming. So, for each of us, we probably had a very different journey of how we engaged in the Bible. Jen, where would you say is the place you either started or that you'd recommend starting?
Yeah, I would recommend definitely the Gospels is a great place to start. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus' closest followers that recorded his ministry. You get to learn about the miracles of Jesus, the healing that Jesus did, the traveling and the conversations that he had, and the very personal relationships that he had with his followers, the lessons he taught to the crowds, both in large crowds and in one man on the road. It's a really great spot to start.
And that's Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John.
Yep.
And all of them have a different perspective a little bit. Matthew, Mark, and Luke kind of have a very similar feel and tone to how they write. But John, closest to Jesus, definitely had a different take. So you kind of, even if you read all four, you're going to have a different feel.
You'll get a different perspective from each author, which is really neat.
And we have a reading plan for the Book of John.
Yeah,
right?
we do. That's the best part is we're hoping that with some of these recommendations we're making to you is that we'll be providing reading plans that will help you along the way.
Yeah.
Sarah, where would you go?
Well, and I love that you answered the Gospels, and that's where you learn about Jesus and his life. I actually would also recommend going all the way back to the beginning. Let's go to Genesis. Let's figure out, look at God's creation. Why did he create man? What happened to man? What is the fall all about? And why do we need Jesus? We by starting there, and you see the story in the Old Testament reveal God's love for his people, and how he makes his name known, through his people, but also this story of that God was going to bring a Redeemer, a Savior, a Messiah. But that goes all the way back to the book of Genesis, which actually I'm reading with my 13-year-old son right now. We've been starting in Genesis and Exodus, and actually we're in Leviticus right now, and that uncovers some of the law. And so it's been fun to talk with my 13-year-old about, all right, what are you learning about the law? What kinds of laws were there? Why were there laws? And what does it mean when Jesus came to fulfill the law?
Yeah, there is something about saying you can go start at the beginning of a story and understand kind of the rationale, the reason, understand why God created and what was his whole purpose for us. You see that kind of spelled out a lot more as the Bible starts to unfold.
I want to clarify one thing. I would not recommend starting in Leviticus. I did just mention that. I wouldn't start there. Okay.
I was wondering about that. I was like, I don't know if I'd go there quite yet, but
No.
no. And here's the thing: there's a lot of different Bible books in the Bible that are pretty more detailed on laws or specific. Don't discount them. Just don't start with them. They're really great.
They're part of the story.
They're part of the one big story of the Bible. But understanding some of the other bigger chunks helps you that when you go to those books, you understand why and you understand the rationale behind it. So you talked about the Gospels. We talked about Genesis and Exodus. I'd also say if you're interested in the early church, understanding Christian living or biblical living, when you go into Acts is the early church, and after Jesus ascended into heaven, you get to see how the early church started. Or if you are interested in how the church ended up having to instruct itself and keep themselves on that same path after Jesus left, how do you remember all the things that Jesus taught? Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. My husband remembers it as the General Electric power company.
Go eat popcorn.
Go. So we all have our tricks. But the idea where you can get some really strong encouragement from the Apostle Paul as he's writing to different churches and helping them stay on the path. But here's the thing: you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong when the Psalms are really encouraging. Proverbs have so much wisdom. There's so many great places to start. And there's a lot of great Bibles out there that have reading plans. We obviously have some on the Chara Project website that are catered to help people that are first starting out and trying to figure out where they want to start. This is made specifically for you ladies, and that is why we have the Chara Project. We want you to find joy in the Bible, and some of the easy reading plans that we have put out there are made for you. But in addition to that, know that no no matter where you start in the Bible, whether it's using those reading plans or not, God is going to be able to meet you where you're at. And so be encouraged as you dive into his word that he is there to show you his love. And so with that, we will hopefully have answered your questions. But if you have any additional questions, check out our website. We obviously have those reading plans. But if you have questions for us specifically about where to start or questions as you are starting to read, go on our website and you can go on to our email, or you can go onto IG and just send us a note. We're happy to answer any question you have. We're here along with you for the journey. So thanks, and we'll see you soon.